Welcome to your show.
Oh, sorry.
Dang, hold on a second. We gotta.
Welcome to the Jeff Logan Show. I'm your.
Is this how you do your intro? You just sit here in silence?
No, we're just.
The weirdest intro ever.
I thought that the protein scoop was gonna go quicker.
Oh my God.
See, this is why I don't invite people over, because last time we was in the Ferrari and the shit was all calm. Becoming the Beast podcast, Jeff Logs. Y'all know this is brought to you by Logan Performance, Become Nutrition, and No Beast Mode Clothing. Use code BTB15 for 50% off of any brand of your choice. Okay, so we have today two special guests, Rob Bailey, Dana Bailey. Me and Dana just trained, Dana and I just trained shoulders, chesticles. You got a pair of chesticles. We just handled that. And the Becoming a Beast podcast is about mindset. I like to dig deep into mindset. This is not like and I'm trying not to swear because a girl said she was watching it. You know who you are. You was watching the podcast with your daughter. And, you know, I'm trying to let the kids watch it too and get the kids in the mindset. But today it might be a little swearing on it. So this is just a disclaimer. So if
Probably because of me.
Yeah, if you hear some.
Nah,
Guilty.
I'll be good.
No, he's much better than I am.
Because we're going to get into it. Trust me. So check it out. So basically, let's introduce our relationship.
Introduce our relationship?
Yeah.
All right. Like,
how do we know each other?
This is
oh
my friend.
Goodness. The first time that I remember meeting Jeff, we had a Flag Nor Fail booth, and you came and waited.
You remember that?
You came and waited in line, and I think you were with Adam Paz, and you're wearing a Muscle Med stringer, or like a t-shirt cut. And I remember you walked up, and I was like, this dude is enormous, and he looks like a super athlete. And I was like, and he's like, he has a look that this dude is somebody.
Off-season bodybuilding. That's what it looked like.
You look like
a fresh, like linebacker, like a hybrid athlete, but obviously huge.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember being like, this dude has a look. And then I don't think we saw you for a little bit. And maybe 6 months later, you came to a camp. And this dude, I was going to say this motherfucker, but I'm not cursing.
But you just said it.
Listen, they didn't hear it.
You just said it anyway.
So this dude,
Welcome to the circus.
So this dude, because obviously my man has a commercial gym as his home gym, right? Yeah. This is with a Ferrari in it that is covered in dust, which I love. Which I love that Ferrari is just covered in dust because it's not about the Ferrari, but we'll cover that later. So my man would come down to our camps and we would hold these giant events that, like, if you were anywhere close within 3 hours, you should come to. He was 5 to 6 hours. And he would drive down and he would sleep in his, what kind of car?
Honda Accord.
Honda Accord. Market value, probably $300. I'm actually surprised that it made it 6 hours. And then he would sleep out back of our warehouse in the car.
Train Friday night. With
Yeah.
us.
And I was so geeked to train, it didn't matter what we were training.
Oh, it didn't matter.
I would post on the gram, back day, great pump. I'll post my back because it was cool to post your back then. And then I call y'all, can I come through? Yeah, you can come through. And mind you, I'm 6 hours away. And I get there, we were training back. Cool.
You would train whatever, and you wouldn't eat. You just show up and start training, and just very, very impressive what he would put himself through.
Because you eat the next day because they're going to have all the samples there. So you're like, I'm going to eat tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's free.
But like watching him do that, and then eventually getting to a point in time where, you were the one training with Dana at camp, because I've never found anyone that can sort of train with Dana, push Dana to that extent. And I found out that I was like, hey, I can host this event, and Jeff can hop in and do this damn thing. And what year was that? That was
13, 14 or something.
13, 14?
I mean, even before that, because I don't think it was before that, because I didn't win the Olympia yet. It was like
So about 10 years ago. 9 years ago?
Yeah, 11, 12.
So
11.
exciting relationship. Started traveling a lot with us.
Oh yeah.
We took a little hiatus, you and I.
Oh yeah.
Which I I look back now and I just absolutely love.
But I liked how, like, back then you would call me out. Like, if there was something like...
Yo, listen. We got into it on some shit, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It doesn't even matter.
No.
And not even anything weird, just like some whatever stuff. It was almost like we got to a point in time where we had to take a little bit of a split. And we did. And you went on Instagram and did your thing, but like you were trying, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember you came to our gym, and I still had an issue with you. We sort of still had some tension.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business is a good way to put it, because we just sort of like had a little altercation and then went our separate ways.
Not a physical altercation.
No, and it wasn't over anything weird. It was literally just like two grown men that needed some time apart, like almost like two alpha males that just need to be separated for a little bit. And we got separated, and I remember you came back to the gym, and you were trying to throw off some vibes, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember I said something to you. I said something. I was like, bro, I know you're not doing it because you've been showing the same damn watch.
Oh yeah.
And like I knew that was like I can't afford another one. And it's such like a stupid materialistic bullshit thing, and that's why I want to circle back to this Ferrari. But I remember calling you on the watch and being like, hey man, like you think you're doing it, but you're not.
And then you were like, who's the boss to you? And I'm like, oh, this guy's the boss, that guy's the boss, this guy's the boss. And you're like, yeah, but you're not doing it on their level. And I'm like, no. So, and you got the same Nixon on. I'm like,
it was a really, really rough, good conversation though. Like it was weird. It was, I don't want to say like I felt like, it didn't feel like I was like, oh, like my son or something stupid like that. But it felt like I was like checking my boy hard. And a lot of the stuff too, I was saying I was checking myself with.
Right.
And then I think you like left the country.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see you for 2 years.
Yeah, and then they were playing your song in Barcelona, Spain when I was working out. It's a random ass day working out. And over there, fitness is big, but it's not like every single day. Like they couldn't understand, hey, why are you doing cardio? No one's fat. You're not fat. Like go eat a croissant, So it's like everything's more lax there. They take siestas in the middle of the day. And I'm training alone in this big gym, and I'm just like, they're playing Rock Bailey. So I put a video and I'm like, yo, you're getting played in Spain right now. And we, rekindled everything, and, we moved on from there. But I don't think you knew what you did for me.
I did.
Mm-mm. And you.
What? Me?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Because you are alpha male, okay? Alpha males sometimes don't receive feelings as well as somebody else can. Mm-hmm. So, like, I never got to say thanks because you don't understand, like with me, I think words are a spell, okay? And you're so confident in what you say, and you mean what you say, and it's unwavering. It's a conviction. Mm-hmm. A lot of people just talk bullshit. Oh yeah. I love this couch. Okay, cool, but you gonna take a bullet from my couch? No, then you don't love it. So shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. But when you say something, you mean it. And I see like the feeling behind your words, and for me, it's an impact because I believe like I don't care. This podcast is raw, so. It's like when Mike Tyson was talking about custom auto, and he's like, oh, I would go into Cuss and tell him like, hey, this dude got all the girls and they got all the money. So man, you're gonna have all that. And then he said, well, what's the difference between, everybody says that to everyone. And he was like, well, I believe Cuss. Mm. And I came in one day, it was like tunnel vision. I'm a Muscle Meds athlete. Shout out to Muscle Meds, my former sponsor. And it was like, you're like, nah, Jeff Logan's a boss. And I'm like, whoa, no one ever talked to me like that because I come from a place where you suck, you're getting shot, or you're not going to make it. It's a bunch of you're not going to make it, you're not going to make it. Then somebody's speaking this spell, casting a spell on me, and I started to believe it. I'm like, whoa, wait. I never looked at myself like a boss because I spent this whole lifetime with people telling me I ain't shit. Also, I see Dana training. There's no days off. You do half reps, do this reps, and I'm just like, wait a second. You can sit on a machine and just do it for 8 sets? You're like, who told you can't? And I'm like, wait. What the fuck? So why was I doing 3 sets of 10 as opposed to like 10 sets of 50? So imagine how much more training you get. So like I met you guys and it broke through this barrier that I was giving myself, the perceived limits I was giving myself, and I never said thank you because like I wouldn't have been living like this, like how I'm living right now. You know what I'm saying? And you said that shit with the Ferrari. You was like, you might want a Ferrari next year. And I'm just like, You know what I mean? And like I see, and like you don't understand. Like your words paint a vivid picture. So I want to personally say thank you for that, Dana. I want to say thank you for breaking through my training barrier. And I always say, what would Dana do right now? Oh, Dana goes. I've seen Dana Linn Bailey crying. You're not working out till you crying. I've seen her cry on a set because of the intensity of the pain of the set. Like nobody trains like that. And you got the audacity to talk about steroids and this and that. Fuck steroids. Like anybody can juice. They got it on Instagram now. They're like, check your testosterone levels. You know, it don't got nothing to do with do a set till you cry. Holler at me when you crying in the gym, or is you too busy trying to look cool? Is you busy matching your shit? Like show me the last time you cried in the gym because of the pain of the set that you're doing. Okay, or you push past the perceived limit. And like, Rob, you gotta understand, man, you set a example that, you know, you're in a warehouse that you're releasing, and then you go from there to the house on the hill, literally where the fucking driveway was death to go up that driveway. You felt like you were gonna die. And then to the other warehouse that you were leasing, that you bought, and then you sold it, and then you moved to Montana. I'm like, wait a second, forget the move. I was like, that's expensive. Moving a car, just one car, let alone an operation, you move an operation to a state. I'm like, counting the money, I'm like, what the hell? Like the bills.
17 tractor trailers. You know how much it cost to 17 tractor trailers? So just the moving the stuff was a nightmare.
Hey, can I tell them about how you personally drove? With
You can tell them anything.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, you can tell them that.
Okay, so Rob is, I ain't gonna say the amounts. Rob is heading across country in his truck with goats, three goats, 4 including himself, with an insane amount of cash money falling out of a suitcase, firearms.
I almost want to tell them how much cash. All right, so no, I'm not. I can't tell them.
You can tell them this is my.
No, I don't think I can say that on camera. A lot.
In a suitcase.
A lot. How many? I mean, a lot. Enough to
get in trouble.
Enough to. So I didn't know how to ship my cash, and I didn't know how to ship my guns and my goats. So I had to drive across the country with, yes, a suitcase, literally one of the big rolling bags full of cash, about 30 firearms, and then my 3 goats. That was
and Kaya.
And a dog, and Dana. That was a 44-hour drive.
5 goats. So you didn't realize until like you got like an hour in, you're like, whoa, we're riding dirty.
I was like, yeah, if I get pulled over and they remotely search this car,
yeah,
I have to go to jail.
We were tempted to bring our pet deer. That was the thing that we're like, well, we could get in trouble for that. We didn't bring the
Don't care about the guns, don't care about anything like that.
We didn't bring
I want to circle back though. One thing that, because I said this about Jeff's Ferrari's over there. It's a new Ferrari. And when you got in it, you opened the door into a little table and like knocked the table over. And Austin was like, bro, he opened his Ferrari door into like a table and didn't care. And I was like, yeah, because it's not about the Ferrari. Like, it's about the journey to get to the Ferrari. Once you get the Ferrari, like, I know as well as you know, because I got cars, you don't care about that car. If you walked out tomorrow and that car was upside down from a tornado, you'd be like, meh, oh well. Like,
a nice picture
it's not about the car. It's not about any of this stuff. You know, obviously it feels good to have a gym, but like, you could also operate if you were reversed back to your original gym.
Oh yeah.
You could do the same thing. You could still sleep there. It's not about that. It's all about the journey to get there. And one of the big things I like about Jeff, because I don't have very many friends like this, but when I talk to him, I have the ability to sort of say what I'm doing with confidence. And I think all the conversations going back, when I tell somebody else, I was in the room with a billionaire the other day, and he asked me how many rental properties I had. And I was like, like 6 or something like that. And then I said that I had 2 full-time employees managing. And he's like, well, you have more than 6 properties. And I was like, well, yeah, I normally try to play things down, because when I say that I have 8 properties or 12 properties or whatever, I feel a little embarrassed. I feel like I'm bragging, or I feel like I'm making everyone uncomfortable by talking about success. Mm-hmm. But with you, I can say it so confidently, and I say it so pointed, because going back to all those other conversations, anytime that we talk, it's not even bragging. It's like, I know what I'm saying is sparking your brain and encouraging you. and then like your response is doing the same thing. You getting that Ferrari and having that sitting here is just like it, because we can both, she can, everybody in this room can do anything. Literally can do anything. You went from being 300-pound bodybuilder, muscle meds athlete to like model, actor, CEO, multiple series, and like that's the stage you're at right now, and you're headed to the moon. Right. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, this gym is great, but like 3 years from now, this gym's gonna look silly. Right. And I know that. And I think that's the cool thing is talking to you is like, because we both realize that there's literally no ceiling on anything. So
and why would we speak in terms of limit? Exactly,
maximum potential. And I don't have many people in my life that I can freely talk about that, and it has the same response that you have. Right. You know, even the conversation about the watch, like, I wasn't trying to be a dickhead, like, and
it was facts though.
But I knew exactly what I was saying because I know how you respond to things. Mm-hmm. You're not just like, oh, F Rob, see that? F Rob, like he's just trying to bully me or whatever. He's just trying to put me down or make himself feel cool. You respond the same way she responds. The same way she responds, the same way Austin responds. I have people in my life that respond like that. When you criticize them, when you call them on their bullshit, they're like, no, I gotta fix that. I'm gonna grow right now. And that's how you are. And that's like the coolest thing to see is when people respond properly to criticism or respond properly to adversity. And not many people have those traits, but once you get that trait and you respond instead of being the victim about it, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And both you guys are like that. It's really, really cool. Thank you.
I like that. You know what I want to know about?
What?
Rob Bailey and Dan Billy? Times where you had to channel into anger, rage.
Oh, us?
To get some, no, not against, but
no.
Because I know for a fact that one time where you felt like you were alone in the first warehouse, the first one that you were leasing for $1,600, mind you. How far are we in the warehouse progress?
Well, I mean, we're building the one now. We're almost done.
Almost done with a new warehouse ground up.
Yeah.
Mind you, purchased a patch of land for $250,000. Couldn't build on it. $250,000 mistake.
$500,000.
Oh, excuse me.
Still a mistake.
Can't build on it.
Yeah.
And then built this like massive building from the ground up. But I'm taking you back to that $1,600 lease.
Yeah.
Boom. You don't lease anything today.
No, I pay for everything.
And I remember there was a time you said that you were alone in that warehouse. And you're like, I'm gonna show everybody. Yeah. And you were taking showers at the local gym, which of course you would never do now.
Because we didn't have our heat in our house went out, so we had to.
The hot water heater.
And we didn't have enough money, so we just.
It's $300. You know.
We kept the gym membership and showered at the gym until we figure things out.
Now, just do you mind really quick? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm going to overstep the boundaries, of course. Do you mind saying Flagner Phil is, I don't know, $50 million company?
Value?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that if not more. Yeah. I mean, I'm not good with valuations. That's like something we've been talking about and trying to like EBITDA and all that stuff. Yeah.
Because people go off of numbers.
Oh, 50, no, it's more than 50 million. If I was to sell
yeah.
Oh, selling the company, I mean, by doing the math, we'd probably be at least $250 million. I would assume 250 million.
I have no idea.
But it's the same thing. It's like,
so if you want to buy Flagner,
no. It's also something that's just not for sale. So that's why we don't consider selling or anything like that. You know what I mean?
But I wanted to put it into perspective. So some people they're saying, well, who, the demo might be like, well, who are these people and this and that? Because I have a lot of respect for you guys, and I had to put that into perspective for them. Because sometimes, and I told my mother, I was like, I got all this crazy stuff to say. I've read all these books and shit, and I got it to say. And I said, no one's gonna listen until I whip up in that.
Yeah, there's a level of validation and that's the whole it's the new world of there's a lot of validating things. For example, I'm not wearing it right now, but my watch is very specific. I wear an AP because you can't get an entry level AP for under $20,000.
Nope.
But it's also, and once again, you guys choose Rolex. I don't wear Rolexes because I feel like everyone knows Rolex is a status symbol, right? Mm-hmm. When I wear my AP, only people that know watches, and once you know watches. When you see my Royal Oak, you're like, oh, okay, or my offshore. Yeah. When you see that, you're like, okay, cool, I know that watch, and you do get a level of respect. Ferrari's a very easy way to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that it's weird that there needs to be that validation depending on what you're selling.
And it sucks because I've always had these things to say, and I go to the gas station and the kid's like, yo, bro, like, can you tell me something? And I end up telling him something motivational, but I'm like, dude, I could have told you shit if I came up with
it's the same thing with your physique, right? Like, you have to get in shape so that you have a product to walk into a gas station with.
That was a good
for them to see you and believe you. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it's like, you can get as shredded as possible all day, and they're like, ooh, he knows fitness. But like, the only way to get that person to understand that you know success is this.
Right.
I mean, obviously, or show them your beautiful, amazing family.
Right.
You know, I look at that and like, success.
Right.
You know? So it's not a bad thing. It's just like another tool to express success and to get people understanding on a different level. Because a lot of people see a physique and they're like, I don't want to look like that. Or they'll see that and like, I don't want a Ferrari. But
conditioning.
Yeah.
Because they're taught that it's bad because to them it's perceived as unattainable. So they're just like, you know what? Since you can't have that today, it's bad.
Or you had to be an evil
you
person
don't like
to get
it. Yeah.
Right.
Like, you had to be a bad person to get that. And that's not like
true.
Be clean is changing people's lives. Like, your face is such an important thing. And for you to sell a product that like people can take, and I've seen your before and afters you share.
Yeah.
People share, I've been taking this for 3 weeks, and they're like a different person. That's confidence. That's going to reflect on literally everything. Right. So it's like, no, that's a byproduct of selling an amazing product where you're helping people. It's not an evil thing. So,
and it's also not evil. Like, if you're hoarding something, there's something I was telling. If you're holding, like, he has a bunch of shoes, I said, you better wear them shoes. Wear them. Crease them, then buy more. You know. So it's like I roll that thing up my mile-long gravel driveway, and I raise it, and it's like, and I was like,
I don't know how you drive that car out that driveway.
Every day, gas station, they're just saying, hey, how you doing, Joe? You know what I'm saying? So, and I whip that thing, and that's what it's for. These things are to be used, and who told me? It's not who told me. I told me because I tell me everything. Because if you tell me something, heterosuggestion. If I tell myself something, auto-suggestion. So I have to agree with it a little bit in order to accept it. Because we were talking about people saying negative things to you, and it's like, well, it takes a little bit of acceptance on my end to take it on. And if I don't accept it, I don't have to take it on. So why was I telling myself, hey, oh, that's bad or whatever. But like, yeah, anger. I was just talking about.
Yeah, it's that armor, right? Like, if you do have a chink in your armor, that thing that they project on you can get in. Right. You know, that's that whole crack in your armor, crack in the sidewalk, things like that. If you're all sealed up and someone says something that's so unrealistic that it doesn't even like get you inside, but if they get you, yeah, you got to clear that up.
Right.
No, I think there's a lot of times when her and I, going back to the anger thing, that's my easiest way to go about everything, right? Is to put myself back in the corner and fight. Like, and I do that with Austin every 6 months. Like, I turn on him, and I'm fully aware that I'm turning on him, but it's, if I feel too stagnant or if I do anything, like, I always pull her closer. She's the one person that I pull closer, and then I fight everyone else. And everybody knows, he knows that every 6 months he's like, and he'll even say, he's like, you're getting in one of those moods and we need to stop it. And I'm like, you need to fucking stop it. You need to get away from me right now, or you need to step your game up, because that's when I'm at my strongest. When I it's we've all been in danger before, right? And we've all been in a situation where we're either defending ourselves or we're about to be in a car. We're almost in a car accident today, dude. And you know that everything slows down, everything becomes so crystal clear. So if I can put myself in that situation where I'm like in danger, back against the wall, everything becomes so clear. All of a sudden, like, those dumb priorities don't matter. You know what I mean? And so I put myself there a lot, maybe more than I should. I don't know. It's like a blessing and a curse is trying to harness that. But that's all emotion. You harness emotion, you win, man.
Right, for sure. When you get a hold of it, it's like getting a hold of something. Because emotion, I believe it can destroy. Like, it can definitely destroy. I know I have, not gonna say that. I have a level of anger and rage that can move mountains. So when I apply that to one thing for an hour, it's on. Like, I'll be over here screaming and carrying on. The first time he came out here, Achilles comes out here, and he's just like, damn, let's see what this about. You're on intern. I'm like, all right, you're staying at the, I can't say the hotel. You're staying at the worst hotel in the smoking room, and I'm getting you at 3 a.m. tomorrow. And he comes over, all right, we got arm day. And we're training arms, screaming at each other. Next thing you know, the sun's coming up, and we're just screaming, doing arms, you know, and like applying that rage to something and getting something out of it. Also, like when you back yourself into those corners, I think somebody like Austin, like he has so much care and desire about it. Like his parasympathetic nervous system fires, and he's in fight or flight mode now. You know, so he's like, oh, this has to work. Versus just like, hey, how do I start my t-shirt brand? It's like, bitch, just fucking start your t-shirt brand. Don't even put a logo on it. Just sell the t-shirt, look cool, and sell it for more than you bought it from, and now you have a t-shirt brand. Like, that's what I said on my last podcast. Life is simple, but it's not easy. It's simple. How do I buy a Ferrari? What's the quickest way to get a Ferrari? Steal it. You might go to jail, but that's the quickest way you're going to get it. Yeah. But if you don't want to go to jail, then you have to purchase it. How do I purchase it? With cash or with credit? Like, you know, so like we overcomplicate so many things and we sit back and watch it and then criticize. It's just getting unconditioned. And that's what this podcast is about. It's just becoming the beast. Like you guys are definitely at your beast level. And the crazy thing is, it's another level to that.
Oh, there's so many more. There's so many
Find
more.
me somebody who doesn't compete anymore, who's still in shape.
Jay Cutler.
Yeah, Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler's
good.
in such good shape
All right, Jay Cutler. Okay.
Jay Cutler, dude, you can't. Oh my goodness.
Can we pull up a current pic of Jay Cutler?
Current pick of Jay Cutler. Very impressive.
He looks so good.
And Jay's a cool ass dude.
And Jay's traveling every single weekend.
There's
a few people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's
rare.
It's very rare. It's rare for, you know, even because I remember going into this, so many people said to me, they were like, "Hey man, just so you know," and it's such a weird thing. Hey, make sure she makes all her money in this 3 years because females don't last longer than 3 years. And it was like, what? Like, it's a weird thing to say about females. Like, they don't last longer than 3 years. They get all used up in the industry. And I was like, what the hell are we talking about right now? And like, you know, you started to pop off in 2009. So, or 2008, really?
Yeah.
Is like, 2008 is where she would go to a show and a line would form. So I consider that something. So we're what, 13 years later? And like, still the longest line at expos, like still there.
Owning expos.
And every single expo that we go, owning expos, every single expo we go to, and Austin and I talk about it, I'm like, this is the expo where Dana's not going to have a line. Like, it's probably over now. Yeah. And we walk and we were like, wait, what's that line for? Is that the line for, you know, Mr. Olympia right now? And they're like, no, it's the line for Dana.
I just remember having to get security escorted in the expo to go do a seminar. Yeah. People are just like, you just hear people grab it. Just like, what the hell? Like, you know, people grabbing and stuff. And
they grab at you, yeah. Manners go out the window.
It's crazy, like mobs form and stuff like that. And that's anywhere.
Yeah. She has it, man. She has something. And it's, the cool thing is she won't say that she has it. You know what I mean?
I'm just sitting here.
Like that's a really cool thing is I've never heard her say anything like that. Like I tell myself those things, right? So like when we're in the privacy of our home or like I'm all fired up, I'm like, no, I am the fucking one. Like I'm a fucking, sorry guys, I'm cursing, but I'm gonna do this. I'm like, I'm the king right now. Like I'm the one who can solve this problem. Like all that, I have to do that. I've never heard her once say like, I'm the one, I'm, you know, any of that. She's just like,
but you know what? You know why? That's that hairpin trigger. That's just like, you know, because like it was over there. We were training, and you're like joking around, like, you know, I said something and you laughed, and then you did your set right then and there. Me, I gotta like turn it on. It's on now. Let's do this. I have to say a small prayer, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to like, you know, I gotta get in that like Tony Robbins, that peak condition, like, like, so it's the equivalent if Dana's about to fight, and she's just like, all right, let's go, boom, and we're just like, come on, you know, like we got.
We're gonna fire it up, we're like ripping our shirt off and
like hitting something, or you know.
No, and that's what I need too, because I'm naturally like, that's not my natural state. My natural state isn't like super ready, super focused, all that. Like,
okay, but what are some of your affirmations? What is your internal dialogue
with myself? Mm-hmm. I'm more just happy. I have to be happy and in a good mood, but. Like when it comes down to like something like an Olympia or something, I don't have like an internal dialogue. I only have one mission, and I just execute. I don't.
You just know. You're just like, but I am. You know.
Pretty much. I don't have to like coach myself through stuff.
So like when you're about to. Because you pressed the 80s today, right? 80. So like The what?
Yeah.
80 pounds, yep.
So if
Yeah.
if I was to press a weight that's substantial, right? Or like get under the 150s right now or something like that, like everything would go away, and I would sit there and I'd be like, you are a monster. You are a monster. Like, you are a monster. You're going to show everyone right now that you're a monster. Like, I'd have to go through that. Even with everyone yelling and everything at me, I'd have to be in my own little bubble of my head to get there. You don't say anything?
I have like just a number of reps I want to get. That's because I know I'm going to get it. 3. Yeah.
Visualization.
I know I'm going to get if I'm going to pick this up, I know I'm going to get it. Regardless. So then I guess my affirmations are just like, how many reps am I going to get of this?
I like that. Because like, that's what I was talking about that in the last podcast. I said, people are successful, period. If you're overweight, you're successfully gaining weight. It's what you're doing. You're doing all these different actions to gain weight. So you are extremely successful. If you 800 pounds, the most bedridden, like whatever 300-pound wife, they're successful. Well, more than 300 pounds, but you know what I mean? Like, that's still a form of success. So it's just, what type of form of success? How are you, which way are you turning your steering wheel?
That just blew my mind.
Yeah, they're successful.
Literally just blew my mind.
But extremely successful. There's the Steve Jobs of being fat and out of shape and being in ill health.
No, but that makes, wow.
That
was really good.
To make everything into a positive, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
So it's just, what type of success do you want? Do you want the good part or the bad part? And we also talked about correction, meaning like if you're on a road and you just stop and you're on a straight road and I got the wheel I'm gripping, the Ferrari wheel, and I'm just holding it straight, you're going to veer to the side. You're always correcting yourself, always correcting. Oh, you go over here, go over here. You're always correcting yourself. So, and a big thing that Rob spoke about is Planet Fitness has a slogan, judgment-free zone. And Rob always said, that's the worst thing you can do. Why would you not judge yourself? Why would you not sit there? Don't let other people judge you, but you need to judge yourself. You take inventory all the time.
I would let people judge. Like, I think of it like, you got one life. How do you want to present yourself to the world? And like, everything is judgment. The way you look and the way you present yourself, people are going to judge you regardless. And I don't see that.
That's a Flagrant Fell quote.
Yeah.
Show the world who you are.
Show the world who you are. And I think
the way you act.
The way you act, the way you
treat
look,
people,
the way you eat, the way you train. Like, it's all a representation of yourself. So it's like, how do you want to represent yourself? This is how I want to represent myself.
And the thing about it is being comfortable in your own skin. And for me, the transition, you get all the insecure people who want to do exactly what you're doing. Like, oh, you're getting small. Oh, you're getting this. You're getting too little. Oh, you're skinny. Would you stop training? And I'm like, I laugh because I'm like, I know where I'm going, dog. Like, I'm about to be like, I know where I'm going. You know, so like, when you know where you're going, yeah, I got a plan. Like, this is like, I know where the GPS is headed. Like, you might not see it. So if we're heading out here, like, I live in the country. Like, so if you start going on one of these country roads, you're just like, where the hell we going? We ain't going to the city. Yeah, we just ain't here yet. You know, so like, as long as you know where you're going, I think that's the best thing. And that's the way not to feel insecurity or guilt or anything like that. Because again, it's all mental conditioning. If you get the power lifter who is conditioned to do 5 reps, he's not gonna be able to run a marathon or swim anywhere. You get the swimmer who's conditioned to swim, you get the marathon runner who's conditioned to run 26 miles, he's not gonna be able to power lift. So what are you conditioning yourself for? And that's where we go to like becoming the beast. Like in humans, like we got trees on the property. The trees are conditioned to grow into a tree. We, on the other hand, we could grow into anything, but it's just, we don't focus. Not us, we focus. Flagrant Fell, boom, it's out of here. Dana Linn Bailey's physique, boom, it's out of here. DLB Daily, boom, it's out of here. Austin's tatted up, looking like a G off camera. We'll talk about that later. You know, so we can do anything, like Rob said, anybody watching this, all of us in this room, you can do whatever you want, and there's no limits. And like, when I met them, I was so messed up the first day driving back to Connecticut, and I'm just like, wait, everything that I was like, taught and everything that I perceived, like, but so you could keep training. You don't have to take an off day, and like, you don't have to sleep, and like, we can smoke cigars and shit, and like, go eat eggs the next day. Like, what?
Yeah, make up your own rules.
Don't break the laws, because you go to jail.
Yeah.
Break the rules, and you start history. You make history. And this is simple.
Did I teach you to smoke cigars and eat eggs? Those are 2 weird examples that I think I have to ask you about.
I remember we were in Montana smoking cigars.
And eating eggs?
And like, no, we weren't eating. No, we ate eggs at that buffet. Remember the buffet? And we all like
Hitching post.
The hitching
hitching post. Yo.
I love the hitching
that
post.
shit was crazy. That breakfast was nuts.
Oh,
Then we all
brunch.
passed out on the couch.
And we wake up like 3 hours later, we're like, time to train.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Man, good old days.
Yeah.
These days are good. The good new days.
Good new days.
Good old days, good new days.
All days should be good.
All the days are good days.
All the days.
Any questions for me?
Oh my goodness. I like my typical question would be like, I want to know where you're going next. But I also don't want to know because I just want to be surprised. Because that's the one thing, like, that's my favorite thing about you. And because we work in the same office, Austin and I. My favorite thing about you is when I get to tell Austin, like, oh, Jeff moved. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh, Jeff moved to here. And he's like, wait, what?
When? Why? How?
And
What?
I'm like, oh yeah, look at his house. And he's just like, huh? And then next thing you know, it's like, you see a Ferrari pop up. And it's like, Jeff bought a Ferrari. And he's like, wait. Or when I get into work and he's like, you see Jeff bought a Ferrari? And I'm like, wait, how do you, huh? And like, I look and there, you know, so I don't want to know where you're going next. Like, I wouldn't mind brainstorming and like dreaming and stuff like that, but I like the surprise of you being my friend, of seeing what pops up next.
Like unpredictable stuff.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it because it's just there's no boss in your life.
And that's
You know what I mean?
and that's the coolest
There's
thing.
literally, like, for me, I feel like for some reason I feel like I am, and that's why like I look up to you, is I feel like I have to check with people with a lot of things, right? So like if I was to buy a Ferrari right now, I'd ask my brother, like, hey man, financial decision, can you ask the tax guy? Do you think it would make sense for the brand? Where am I gonna store it? Like all these different things. And I've overcomplicated things. And I think that you are just like, no, I'm gonna get a Ferrari, boom, done.
Yeah.
Like you don't call anybody, you don't ask anybody, and that's something that for me, I like watching you make those moves because I need to internalize more of that. And she tells me that all the time. But question for Jeff. You got one?
I'm so bad at all this one.
It's just that we know each other.
I know.
Like we done been around, we done been to diners all over Pennsylvania, and like
What's the next big thing you think you're gonna do?
the next big thing that I know I'm gonna do is a feature film. Is a feature fucking film. The guy, the fucking dude with the jawline and the defined face and all the tattoos. Because right now, guess what? It's cool to be black, dude. It's
Oh,
cool
yeah.
to be black.
Yeah.
Black and I'm proud. You know?
Yeah.
And like something that made me feel like the dream was there was like watching Black Panther, or like you know, like just like envisioning myself in these different roles and not being limited by precedents or what went on before, or where I came from, or people, oh, you know, this one in the family. No, like I don't care about anything that took place before. Like what's happening next is exactly like, because there's like chemicals that go off in the brain, and it feeds your brain. So you got this chemical going off at all times, whatever the chemical is, and mine keeps going off, and I'm like, there's no limit. So you get to one level, and then, you know, let's say this house, I don't care, I'll tell these people, I got shit ass credit. So you gotta put down a bunch of money. And like when I get in peak condition, like it's pretty crazy and it's intense, you know? So it's like, I just won't accept no, because it's a burning desire in me, and like, I'll get emotional over it. I'll I think you gotta be a killer. Like, I think that if you drop you somewhere, I know you'll kill somebody. Like, if a wild boar came in here, we would all kill it with bottles or something. We would figure out a way to kill it.
I would varigate it and then take it home, and I would
Raise it.
Raise it.
You raise it.
I would raise him.
She's not a person.
Or we would steam it.
Oh no.
I don't eat pork, but
No, I would raise him.
it's wild boar pork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're feisty.
No, so you get a normal pig and you let it go out in the wilderness, it
Well,
turns into a wild
It turns
boar.
into a boar.
No, because if a pig is just like pink and a wild boar is like brown and
Nope. They grow heavier hair, their tusks grow longer, yeah.
ooh, so peep that.
They evolve.
Yeah, but because why? There's no limits on him, so he has to adapt to it, and his testosterone probably fires.
Yep.
And that's what happened to me. I'm sitting here, Mr. Nice Guy, like, oh yeah, Mr. Muscle Man's athlete, and like, oh yeah, I'm not getting paid anything, but I'm just repping. Then Rob's like, Jeff's a boss, and I'm like, boss, and I get lost in it, and I go out in the world and try
And then
stuff
you
and
become
fail,
it.
and then you turn into the wild boar.
You're a wild boar.
You are
You're
the
a wild
wild boar, man.
You're a wild boar too. You're definitely a wild boar doing them 80s. Austin's a wild boar too. Let's even say Austin.
Oh, Jesus.
Austin, I'm summoning you.
Come over here, sit on the couch.
Oh, God.
Get your arm out.
My back hurts.
So Austin,
I'm gonna get cozy, hold on.
I feel like Austin is in the same mindset.
Yeah, no, he's there.
He's there's 100%.
What?
Do you feel like you ever had to like become the beast? That's this thing. We're becoming the wild boar. I didn't know wild boars turn into pigs turn into wild boars.
I hope I'm not making that up, but I feel like that's true. Like, yeah, when pigs get out, they turn to wild boars.
Do I feel like I ever had to like summon that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's times where like you feel like you have to take it to another level, but I've always been like pretty confident in myself. Even like we were joking earlier about the first time I met Rob, you two were standing together talking, and like I shot my shot and just didn't look back from that. You know, like and I always just kind of had that confidence about me, whether it was through sports or whether it was through my work or whether it was through just my personality or whatever it was. And now I'm at the point where I'm able to showcase it on like a little bit of every level, you know? So yeah, it's not something that I have to like remind myself, it's just there, you know? And that's just because I've been given the opportunity to kind of do that. Like people always ask me like, oh, what do I do to do this? Or I love your story, or you're so lucky, or this, and that. And it's like, no, I had a skill set since I was fucking born. I went to college. I knew what my passion was, which was fitness, and then I just married it all together.
Oh yeah.
So like I didn't get lucky.
No.
I was given an opportunity, and then I just didn't look back.
And you took advantage of it. And also, like, you two died hard. Hard.
Don't put me in that category.
No, I watched you. You didn't. I watched you, dude. No, I watched you at Barbell Brigade. I did a shoot. I modeled for Flag and Fail.
Yeah.
I modeled for Flag and Fail. And we're doing a shoot. And you just go off and start squatting. Squatting sucks. Everybody knows this. Like squatting down sucks. And you start squatting, and you just squat. Hey, boom, 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 squatting. And then right afterwards, like it was clockwork. You didn't even think about it. You didn't question it. You didn't say, oh, I would love one of them little protein bars over there. You just take your protein out of the thing, boom, in there, shake it up. And you know your water's room temp, and it sucks. And I'm like, damn.
You got good memory.
I know, bro, I seen, I'm like, damn, still scoop, okay.
And that
Like
warm
shit.
water.
Yeah, he sees all that. He picks up on all that stuff.
And I seen you just like on the plane, back out asparagus, you know, the salmon, everything. Like
I almost did that I forgot my food in the fridge. I like prep food out because I'm doing this little 6-week thing.
Oh yeah.
Trying to become a bodybuilder again, just for 6 weeks.
Trying to become a
And then I left my food in the fridge.
We gotta give you some credit too, though, because I've seen us travel to LA Fit, go to Gold's, train for a couple hours, and then us go to IHOP after. Dana's like meal prepping, me and Rob are eating like pigs, and you're ordering tilapia and broccoli.
I'm getting with Dana's getting.
IHOP in downtown LA, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's 1 a.m.
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Just
with
give
that?
up with us,
But,
man.
like,
Right.
Just give up.
yeah, you're the same
Eat
way
the
when it's
pancake.
switched.
Because I'll see Dana and I'm just like, damn, bro, I'm trying to look like that, man. Like, I need my abs going crazy. Like, man, come on. You know, like, and I just like see what she does. And like, you know, remember we all drinking the liquid egg whites and stuff. And boom, another thing. You were getting a lot of, before Run Everything Labs, you were getting every supplement company in the universe is sending them product. And they got all this product on the wall. And we said something about like, oh, is the whey hydrolyzed? And you're like, I'm like, Arnold didn't have no hydrolyzed whey. Yep. You know, and it's just like, you got to look at things like that. And when they say luck and they see, you know, the material things, and they see Rob has 37 million Porsches, and especially the big boy, GT2, yeah, go look at the retail price on that motherfucker. But like, they see all this stuff and they're just like, oh, he's lucky to buy that. Like, no. And also, boom, check this out, right? Check this shit out. Your father.
What about my dad?
You said he liked 911s.
Yeah.
Boom. So then he liked 911s, and I read this book where it said we are, you know, a form of a reincarnate of our parents, and like we should look at like the negative. What don't you like about your parents? Oh, he could change this. My mom would like punch him in the face, and you take on those positive things. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, oh, my dad wants a 911, and then you're like, yo, I'm getting a 911 Turbo.
Yeah, that was my big thing. Was I tried to. I mean, I think that's the beauty of being able to like look at your parents is say like these are all the good traits about my dad, and then these are all the bad traits. Now it's my job to improve on everything. So I improve on the good traits, and I have the opportunity to visibly see the bad traits and correct them, you know? And yeah, I mean, that it's weird, like, you know, I've been mentoring a lot recently, which is strange for me, but one thing that people always do is, I always get the same thing, and people will hate on this. I already know the comments that I'm gonna get, but they'll hit me up and they'll say, hey man, I wanna chase my dream, but I have an 11-year-old. And if I know if I start trying to start this business, what if I lose the house? What if I do this? And I'm like, well, do you wanna show your kid to chase his dreams, face adversity and possibly struggle? And then even if you do fail, show your kid that it's gonna be okay, like show him that you can figure anything out and show him all that adversity? Or do you just wanna show him that you never took the leap? And like my dad taught me hard work. Like my dad would wake me up at 4 a.m. on Saturday morning and be like, we're gonna go cut firewood. And I hated him for it, but I understand hard work. But what my dad never did is he wanted to start an ice cream stand. And I vividly remember he used to get like the cup holders with like the drink cups in it, and like he would buy like the paper product samples, like cones and things like that. And I was like, oh, my dad's gonna start, but he never took the leap because I think he was too scared that he wouldn't be able to pay the bills or take care of my family, which like I respect that. But like I also know if he would have taken the leap and we would have lost everything and had to live in a car, I would have been all right. Like I still would have been able to do it. So I tell people that now, like, hey man, take that step, show your kids some adversity, and have them watch you walk through it, fight through it. You know what I mean? And I think that like I mean, your kids, man, they're gonna grow. They like having you as a dad. Like, how cool is that? Seeing you take every single risk, right?
Right.
Like what do you think that's gonna instill? Like yes, all the other traits, but like taking those risks. Like it took me to 30 or 25 to start really taking risks. Because like I had to find it in myself.
Right.
But if you set that example for your kids, like even if everything blows up, your kids, they might be frustrated with you because they don't have the nicest shoes and they're not going on trips, or when they turn 16, they don't get a car, or, you know, maybe they don't get to eat breakfast and lunch, but they only get dinner, whatever it is.
Right.
But I think as long as you explain to them like, hey, we're struggling because of this, we're chasing dreams, and I want you to do the same thing. And that's how people get successful. Like there's so many lessons in all that adversity that people are too scared to take.
Because you know what? Because they know exactly what it's going to take.
Oh, that's the other scary thing too.
They're just like, oh, they all come around. I want to look like Daniel and Bailey. Oh, cool. I'm going to get on DLB daily, right? Damn, this shit is hard. But she's actually doing these workouts day in and day out. Whoa, I know this. Well, I'm going to skip it today. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. Like, you have to, like, if you want to buy this Fiji and it's cost $4.59, you have to come with $4.59. You know, so unless you're not going to get it. If we go to a bench press and we got, I don't know, 315 on there, you can't push back with 315. That costs more because it's resistance. You know, that's the even trade for buying a water, but resistance is, if you push back with 315, it's a stalemate. You got to push back with more to move it. And some people aren't willing to push back with more, you know, so they just conform because it's comfy. It feels good when you're homeboy. Yeah, let's just get a pizza. Cool, let's just get some wings, man. Hey, yeah, bro, by the summer you're gonna be ripped. No, you're not unless you do something about it. No, you're not gonna have your business. Like if I never would have started it's a scary place to visit in my mind. To say, what if you never started? So I never think about that. That's the scary part to me. And like when I think about the crazy shit, and I think about, all right, I'm looking at houses. I'm like, all right, well, who's? Oh shit, 225 acres just sold down the street. Like, well, how would that be? Like, what we have to pay for that? Like, what's that down payment? And I just go nuts with like thinking about stuff, but I'm grateful, but I'm not satisfied. And that's the thing. People are like, well, you're always reaching. Yeah, because you get to a perceived limit and you're just like, all right, that wasn't that crazy. You know, because even this house, we went out on a whim. Like, my wife finds it and I'm like, what do you got to do? I don't know how to buy a house. I'm renting a $10,000 place in LA. What do I know about a fucking house? People like, you know, they see me in LA like, oh man, you're doing it. I'm like, no, I'm renting a house. And I'm renting a house in LA. And then, you know, they're just like, oh, you got to put down the earnest money on it and hold it. So I put that down and I'm like, oh, I'll probably have to put down X on it. And then the lady's like, no, it's double. And I'm like, well, how am I, like, what the heck? You know, so then you leave and she's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be more. And you're like, wait, but then you gotta get the movers and then you gotta get the rental car and then this and then that. And you factor in all these things, but you approach it with a mindset like, I'm gonna overtake this, and who's better than me to do this? And I get so like intense about it, and like I get in this peak condition, and you can't, like, I will fight 50 people, like, you know what I mean? And I'm sweating right now just getting here, and like, it's a real crazy part that you got to get into, and you got to tap into that part of yourself. And that's what I do when you say you can come to me and kind of do, not a what would Jeff do, but like, you know, shit, Jeff would just buy it.
Jeff would do it.
I might get another. I'm looking at 911s now and shit. I'm like, damn, because where I got that from, they got the double decker thing. I'm like, well, shit, I could put that in Jeff.
I was here 2 weeks ago, and speaking of like doing things you don't know, I was here 2 weeks ago, something like that, and you didn't know how to cut your grass because you didn't have a lawnmower. And then I remember the conversation, but it's like figuring things out, making it happen.
And 2 weeks before that, I didn't know how to ride a motorcycle, and I bought one, fell off it a couple of times, skinned myself up pretty bad, and then I figured out how to do it. Now I'll get the mail on my motorcycle.
The grass cutting thing, I vividly remember the conversation, and this isn't normal stuff, but it was, hey man, you need, for this much acreage, you need to get a zero turn. You're like, how much does a zero turn cost?
What is a zero turn?
And what is a zero turn? What is this lawnmower thing? And I remember the guy here was like, it's about $15,000, and you were like, what? But then 2 weeks later, I come here, and that lawnmower is here, and you use it, and your lines are good. And it's like, it's so cool to see people put themselves in situations and then figure it out when they get there.
Right.
You know, you didn't say like, well, like looking at this house, you never once said like, well, how am I going to take care of the property? You're like, no, I'll figure it out. And like that confidence is so dope.
Right.
And that's like the coolest thing. And he has that confidence, and she has that everybody sitting right here has that confidence of, yeah, once I get there, details, I can figure all that out, but the overall vision, they know what they want and they can accomplish it. They don't get held up by, well, who's going to take care of all this property?
Because you see yourself doing it.
Yeah.
Double Cross. The first season of Double Cross, the week before that, I bombed an audition. Then I came out to Olympia. I actually saw you guys out there in Olympia 2019, pre-COVID.
Oh, wow.
Weird, no mask or anything.
Right.
And then I bombed an audition, and I'm just like, they laughed at me. Like, I got the classic acting story. I bombed an audition, and I came in there, and I was so gung-ho, I'm like, I know all the lines, and I put it there, and I'm like, I'm ready. And then the guys over here is reading it from me, and I'm like, and I turn here, and then they're like, oh, is you a robot? And everybody starts laughing. I'm like, no, I'm not a robot. They're like, it's okay. I'm like, fuck. And they're like, oh, he's cussing at us now. He's gonna fight us. Ha. And I'm just like, and I started panicking, and I get the paper and I'm reading it, and I was like, damn, I just bombed an audition. So then Double Cross came, and they sent me something, and I was like, you know what? I don't even give a fuck about this shit. Give me the thing. I told my wife, hey, read that off for me. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Eric Cross. Haha, I'll shoot you. And then they're like, hey, can we book you? I'm like, well, like I'm in a hotel in Vegas. We about to go to the buffet. Like we're 1 month pregnant. Wait, I'm not even an actor. And then, and then we get booked, and then I go there and I'm scared but confident because I don't got a choice. And I go in there and I'm like, wait a second. Nobody knows I'm not an actor. Same thing if you're a player and you're running game on girls. She doesn't know you're broke. Go in there with the confidence. Shit, it's free. So I went in there to the table read, and I just read it with as much passion as I could. And I'll get on set, like, how long you been doing this? It's like, shh.
Forever.
It's like, I don't even know at this point. I'm just like, who are you?
A week.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I get on set, and then I finish it, and like, it wasn't, because when you're on set, it's not like after everything's like, yay, that's what we do with my son. He eats something like, yay, you know, close the refrigerator, everything's, but me, I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm doing good. Like, and then the sound guy called me like, yo, bro, you're next. Like, this was good. And I'm just like, it is? And then I guess it was good. Season 2, boom, pay goes up. Season 3, boom, pay goes up. Now they're sending me bottles of liquor with my name on and stuff. You know, so it's like whoa, now we're flowing now. But before they couldn't see, because a lot of people talk junk about it. Oh, it's a low budget thing, this and that. It's like, well, shoot, you should have seen my body after the first workout I did. I looked like shit. So it's like, what is this? This is the beginning. You're seeing the rough draft of the first time I'm doing something. So, and I like that because someone talked shit about my Instagram one time because I would put all these affirmations, CEO, model, it was none of that. Yeah, to the physical, but internal I was, and it was on me to birth it, because any one of our dreams is a baby that we're having, and who are we to keep it internal inside of us? Like, my sons are the best thing ever. Why would we, oh yeah, he's gonna be the best, whatever he's gonna be. Why would you hold that in and let that die within you? You're bad, that's a sin, you're going against your creator. Also, you are very connected with God.
You are.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
just
yeah.
happened? Something
Ooh.
just holy.
This is what
I
I. Ooh,
need
this,
an explanation on this.
okay, so this superpower, which is God, whatever they want to call it, and there's no title because people praise a limited God. They praise a God in a Bible. They praise a God in a Quran. This and that, and it's limited. You have to do this. Religion is a set of rules. It's the practice. It's what you have to do. Yeah, I fasted 30 days like a Muslim. I prayed like them. I prayed in Arabic. I learned full Arabic. I know how to say my prayer in Arabic with perfect diction. And I have good intentions when I say it. But I can take different parts of that. That thing in you, that command stuff, and it believes that's so, like I said, the golden thread through every religion. I took a world religion class in college, and it went through all these religions, about 30 of them. I didn't even know there's 30 religions. And the golden thread through all of them is belief. Mm-hmm. So God is not in the universe, within everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you tapped into this to build something out of nothing, to create something out of nothing, just like a computer. God's not in, the person who created the computer is not in it. The person who created that camera that's filming this, he's not in the computer making things going. He's outside of it. And once the camera taps into what he wants it to do, it fires perfectly. You have found a way to tap into that outside source, that eternal power that you just know. This is what's going to happen. I just know. Not, like I said, not a limited God. Rob's not in there, doing praise and worship on Sunday. But I don't think those people are holy. I think you're more holy than them because you're following exactly your guide, what you want to do, and you're tapping into this outside power. So yeah, this is not Bible. We're not reading Bible verses, but a lot of stuff you say, you can translate it over to, some of the stuff says that in the Bible, believing in yourself and, whatever, trusting in the Lord and your thoughts will succeed. Then you say, what is the Lord? Trust in the Lord and your thoughts will succeed. That's in the Bible. And you're saying believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. Who is yourself? Limitless. You don't have a title. You don't praise a limited God like the rest of these people do that say, oh, you have your shirt off on Instagram. Hey, brother, you can't be a Muslim if you have a tattoo. Who are you talking to? I'm going to do what I do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like you do the same thing and you tap into that outside power and also it's the internal power at the same time. So this might not make any sense to anybody.
Making clear sense, honestly.
But
which is weird.
And also, like I said, the way your words and the way your words can hold power over people. Like you'll tell Dana something, and I'm sure she affirms it with herself. You tell Austin something, I'm sure he'll affirm it. Tell me, like I said, you called me a boss, and I believed you. Why did I believe you for some reason? And you just flow, and you're not scared because these fearful. These fearful fucking people who are scared to do everything, scared to move, scared to see what people are going to think about them, scared to talk shit about COVID and all this other shit and conform, that's evil to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So dog, you connected, dog. And I don't care if you know or not. I'm telling you is, and that's just how it is.
I'm processing and I like it.
Digest it.
Man.
I had to get that out. I had to get that out.
I liked it. I wasn't ready for it. Yeah, keep me up tonight.
And see, that's the electricity that we have, and we just boom, Yeah, I had to get that out. Wow, I just feel like I just threw up, and I feel better now.
Good.
Damn, I had to get that out. Wow.
I need to sit on that. I think we should end there, and I'm gonna sit. I need to think about that for a little while.
Become the Beast podcast has been brought to you by Become Nutrition, Love Performance, and No Beast Milk Clothing. We'll see y'all later.